Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are returning to Grand Tactician, the Civil War, the new Whiskey and Lemons DLC, which allows you to basically turn this strategy game into a role-playing game where you play as one particular commander during the American Civil War. Now, I recently posted a poll on my channel to see what you guys wanted me to do, continue this series, which is part 2 of our First Look series, or start a new series where we have a little bit more influence as a brigade commander or possibly a cavalry commander. In the poll, it seems a considerable number of folks, and almost 1,000 people voted, but a considerable number of folks would like to see a brigade command series, which I think is what we will do. But I did notice one thing toward the conclusion of my last episode, and that's that the enemy, the Confederacy, were launching an offensive on Washington, D.C., which, it's like General Jackson was listened to after Bull Run. They went aggressive and went toward DC. So we have the Army of Northeastern Virginia under Irvin McDowell with 4 divisions, I think, 3 of which fought at Bull Run and were defeated. His smallest division, the 4th Division with no guns, was left behind to garrison DC, it would seem. And so now we have a battle that is, or no, actually they're not there. It's the 3rd Division, which did fight at Bull Run and is in DC. But in any event, we have 33,000 screaming Confederates advancing on DC. I don't know if they'll all get to fight. It looks like the Army of Shenandoah, which is 11,700 men and 20 guns, presumably under General Joseph E. Johnson, had advanced up the valley and flanked and in toward DC here. So they're coming north of the Potomac. It is possible the rest of the army south of the Potomac will engage because they're in sort of this command radius. Our regiment is in the 1st Division, and we are 4 hours from the field. So it looks like going in initially is 7,500 men of the 3rd Division, which have low morale because this force was broken. This unit contains 1 brigade with a total of 750 men that are low on morale. Basically, they fought at Bull Run and are not feeling great about things. The Confederates are coming in with 11,000 men initially. They have 23,000 men 5 hours away. The Federals are coming with reinforcements of some 6,800, 8,000, that's 9,000. About 14,000 reinforcements are coming for the Federals in 4 hours, but presumably in this fight will be on the defensive, and this is essentially the defense of Washington, so we'll probably get a new map. Our regiment is one of the regiments that is going to come in with low morale. Actually, the 1st Division, the entire division looks like it'll have low morale, or half of it. But yeah, so we'll see if we can persevere. It looks like the Confederates actually have a 12,000 man advantage based on the troops that will come to play in this fight. It doesn't look like we get the Army of Pennsylvania or the Department of Pennsylvania. They're just out of range for this fight. So we'll see how things play out. We're going to go ahead and play this battle, but I'm not going to be able to do anything for a bit until our regiment is on the field. And again, we will start a new series as a brigade commander, but given the possibility of this series ending right here and now, I wanted to see if the Rebs' aggression paid off and if they're able to take Washington. As a reminder, our commander is Matthew McCormick. We're 33 years old. We are backwards. Apparently, we're mischievous. I think we got the schizophrenic or whatever trait in the last battle. I don't know if we still maintain that. I don't see that on here. We're currently a lieutenant colonel. We currently have 42 prestige, but you know, we can gain more in this battle perhaps. So we'll see if we can actually fight in this battle. But let's go ahead and see if we can hold Washington D.C. against this Confederate assault on June 19th, 1861. I know some people were complaining about the initial release of the AI performance. I saw problems in my battle. But I saw a lot of people saying, like, the AI doesn't do anything. They just sit around and do nothing. So I guess we'll see, because they did aggressively maneuver here to drive on Washington, D.C. So let's see what happens, and hopefully we're able to hold D.C. I mean, maybe if this gets interesting, we'll keep this series going, but we'll know soon enough. Okay, so we are moving into the battle phase. Our scouts report the enemy is Near Washington, D.C., our army is preparing for battle. We're facing the Army of the Potomac under PGT Beauregard. They have more than 0 men and 0 guns. The enemy army is green and morale is reported to be broken. That's interesting. Reports indicate their supply situation is outstanding and ours is outstanding as well. I doubt they're broken after winning Bull Run. It looks like it may be a bit of a... Oh, we're on the offensive. So the enemy already holds 3 objectives. There's 1 objective here on 7th Street. And we're deploying down here under Taylor. Our regiment is not, I don't think, on the field yet. I don't think. 4th Division, 2nd Division, 1st Brigade. We're in the 1st Division. 3rd, 4th. Oh, we're here. So we're over here. So we are on the field. I guess the battle didn't start till after we were already here. So maybe no one did anything for the first 4 hours, or maybe the fighting already started. I'm not really sure how the game treats when you're not on the map. Heinzelman's division is the 3rd division here. They're in a much better position. It looks like they're in much better shape, but I don't love that we're going to be on the offensive against a presumably numerically superior enemy. If we have all of our immediate reinforcements, they probably do too, although this claims they only have 10,000 men on the field at the moment, so maybe we do have a chance. That's a lot of ground to cover, though, and we've got no good roads over here to do it. Maybe just this one that flanks up near Kurtz's, hers. But I don't think we'd be able to get into position to attack in 5 hours, and if their reinforcements come on the field up here, they'll be right in the front right away. So we'll see. Our morale is stable. Current morale is 42%. We get plus 22 per hour, which is actually pretty nice. It's not our, it says it's our first battle, but it's not. Is that a glitch? We fought a battle already, remember? Huh, strange. All right, well let's play and see what our orders end up being. But yeah, so the plan is to start a new series as a brigade commander. I'd like to do a little bit of role playing in it, like maybe some intros, maybe some stuff. I don't think I could ever do as good of a job as someone like Wolfpack, but you never know. We could try to do some stuff to make it a little bit more interactive, a little bit more storytelling. I tried doing some like letters and some fake letters in one of our previous series a couple of years ago when we played this game, and that was very popular. So request you support the 4th Division as a reserve. Okay, so where does that put us? Are we already there? Not quite. All right, well, go deploy in the reserve section then. Or wait, did that just go away? I'm confused. Up here? Dear God, that does not look like a reserve. That looks like an advanced position. Hopefully we're not marching alone. So far, we're the first to set out. I need to change my boys' uniforms. They still look like militiamen. All right, rest of the division, at least the artillery is... No one's moving. Why am I the... Oh, no. Okay, so the division in front of us is moving. That's the 4th Division, so that's who we're supporting. For some reason, we're leaving our division and moving to join the 4th. But that'll put us in the thick of things. We have 42 prestige right now. I believe if we get to the point, the objective point, then we will have 10 more. One of the the rest of the 1st Division's moving. We're just at the van. Okay. Why are we marked as first? This is not our first battle experience. We've lost like 300 casualties almost. We had 700 men a couple of weeks ago. But one general complaint I've seen about regimental play is because you're such a small unit, you don't earn enough prestige to get promoted in any kind of speedy level. So no matter how well you do, you're going to be a regimental for a while, which can make things a slog. I think it's a nice way to start things off, but it might not be great for more than a couple battles. Like, I think to make it interesting, you got to get a path to brigade command somewhat quickly. But we can start the game off as a brigade commander, depending on the choices you choose and those like 30 question survey that you start the game with. You can definitely start as a brigade commander. You can start with a lot more prestige and then buy a brigade to start. I wonder if the second series, if we would do that as a Confederacy or if we would do that as the Union again. I also just frankly need to see like how well this game is set up to run a longer series. Obviously, playing a couple of battles is fine, but I'd love to have like a long-running series. So that series may end up being short, and we may have to wait for the game to be a little bit more polished. The reviews haven't been terribly kind so far for the DLC. I think there's a general consensus that the game may have been released before the AI was ready to handle this. It doesn't seem super well optimized, but I haven't played it a ton yet, so you know, we'll see how this battle goes. I wonder if you can use your prestige to get better weapons for your units, or if you're just at the whim of the War Department upgrading your unit's weaponry. I do love the idea of an Eastern Theater, exclusively Eastern Theater campaign. That sounds interesting. Even just playing the grand strategy game that way sounds kind of interesting. A way to kind of limit your scope. I wonder if the AI would perform better as well. But I guess we'll see. We're marching out here. Cohesion's good. Fatigue is rested. Morale is stable. But it's in that sort of orange stable thing. So we've got 50% morale. Cut off from commander, -10. So not quite maxed. Maxed is 64. Fighting spirit is 90. Looks like Franklin's brigade is going into position here on this hill near Emery. I love these maps in this game. That is one thing that it is hard to say otherwise. They do a great job with the maps. Still says we're at a minor defeat. The Rebs got their reinforcements, so they're up to 32,000 men. Looks like the other divisions are coming up here. So we are outnumbered almost by 50%, which is concerning. I don't know that I trust the AI to be good enough to win outnumbered by 50%. And fighting in Washington, we kind of have to win, right? Like the Rebs are going to take the capital right away if we don't win this battle. But we'll see. It posts flags at the corners of your objective. Okay, let's get behind this fence here. It looks like we are forming up on that fence. Oh, Rebs are coming down the road right as we come up it. We are not going to get to that fence. Shoot. Division is under attack by the enemy. My brigade is on the march to support our boys. Take your regiment and move to the stated position as quickly as possible. Where's the state? I can't get up there. There's 2 Reb regiments between us and them. This appears to be cavalry at the van. All right, we gotta slow things down. Oh, +2 casualties inflicted. Okay. Hey guys, how about you form up in line? Request you to support the 4th Division as a reserve. Wait, so we got orders that just countermanded the order? I guess that could be realistic. Well, we're in the reserve now, so we're in the spot at least. Maybe the game realized like, oh, we're asking you to do something you can't do. Are we breaking already? Engage, break the enemy's line, and whip them. Our cohesion looks broken. Are they charging me? Guys, get in a line. Do we have friendlies coming up to support? Oh, they're just sitting back. +11 casualties inflicted. Looks like we're doing a pretty good job of it. I guess it's not. It must be actual number of casualties influences prestige. I don't love that we're not forming up in a line. This looks ugly as hell. We're also taking a few casualties here. They're pulling back. Oh, we didn't get any. Oh, +2.5 prestige for casualties inflicted. What's this? Casualties? Are 24 casualties really considered severe? It just looks ugly. Guys, form up. There you go. There you go. I just needed to adjust their facing. So I don't know what weaponry the Rebs have, but hopefully we've got better weaponry now that we're no longer... And we routed. Damn it! Plus 15 for casualties, minus 10 for rout. I don't get anything for showing up to my ordered theater. Well, maybe if the AI had brought some troops up to help me. Although it looks like we routed one of the enemies too, so. Rally, boys. Rally. What's our morale now? It's broken, obviously, but what's the 0%? Okay. I don't know where we're retreating to, but the van of the army was stopped. The rest of the army looks like it's maybe starting to move up toward that objective now. Get behind those fences and hit them when they show up. We're trying to rally. 7 morale. It's going up by 16 per hour. The rest of the army's moving up. Okay, this is a decent position, I think, to take. But again, we got to win the battle, so you're going to have to push forward. Enemy skirmishers are kind of behind this fence line. Our troops are still panicked and still attempting to rally. Oh, the enemy's moved off on our right flank. That is not good. Put men on this fence line and refuse your flank. I can't issue orders to the AI. Never have I seen I've been a soldier my whole life, Devin, or Gamble, or whatever your name is. Never before has something been so clear to me. All right, our morale is sitting at 21%, not in a position to fight. It is 1,400 hours at the moment. You got to at least push them off the 7th Street. You have any chance of winning this battle. It's mostly skirmishers and some cavalry on that position at the moment. Alright. AI is not the worst deployment I've ever seen. Kind of moving this regiment forward in a stupid way. They're also on a fence line, which doesn't look great. Guys, turn and face the cavalry that's on your flank. Our morale is unstable. What are we at so far this battle? We've gained 5 prestige. I'm sure the fact that my troops have routed for the 2nd time in not that long of me having this regiment doesn't help. That lead division is kind of doing this largely on its own at the moment. This doesn't look great. What are the results so far? Yeah, our army's losing more heavily, and they also have more men, so that's not great. This whole piecemeal attack process feels authentic to a poorly led army, but also not great. Because every time a unit routs, it gives the enemy victory points, which influence the overall battle's sort of score in determining who wins and whatnot. So if you keep sending units forward sort of hastily, and the enemy routes them one at a time, regardless of the casualties, which also matter, it's not great for you. You've got more troops coming up. Like, what is this regiment doing up here? What is the 5th Maryland doing all by themselves up there? And it's good that the 1st Connecticut's coming in on the enemy line to flank him. That's smart. But the 3rd Division commander not doing a great job of keeping his forces in hand. Just slowly being pushed off this objective. Now the enemy's going to be able to turn and face the 1st Brigade here on this flank. They needed to do is more coordination. There's more divisions back here. There's more fresh troops to commit, including our 1st Division, which we're the only ones who had to fight, apparently. My troops still trying to rally. They're at 42%. We're only going up 1 per hour. It's 1,600 hours. I'd like to get closer to this battlefield. We're sitting kind of far back. Let's go sit on this fence line. We're not gaining enough morale just sitting back, so let's get our troops back toward the battlefield. Our loss resistance didn't go down too much. We didn't actually lose that many men. But this 3-regiment attack on the rebel flank actually looks to be shaping up fairly nicely. The problem is they've got no support on their right to prevent the rebs from coming forward. They're kind of on an island here. So like this attack is being done well in my opinion. The problem is over here now. These skirmishers are on their flank, and that's gonna probably unravel this whole thing. They got a 4th regiment up here. Someone turn and face. Turn and face these guys. Hey, don't make me do it. 1,600 hours. My troops aren't even close yet. Oh, they're coming up. Alright, they got a couple of regiments coming up, but I'm worried they're coming a little bit too late. Rebs have refused their flank a little bit. Things are definitely chalking toward a defeat, although casualties are equalizing a bit. I think that flank attack was a lot more successful than I would have thought otherwise. But again, pushing these guys off this fence line is going to require us breaking this left. I'm worried they wasted a bit of their energy already. My troops are stable. Morale is near maxed. Let's move back up on that fence line and see if we can get into this. They're well rested. I don't have orders to do this, but maybe we'll get on the fence line. That'll help. Can we even shoot from here? Side saddle. Just face that way. There you go. We're shooting at the enemy again. Taking casualties? I can't really tell. We are on this fence line. AI troops are moving up. Shift right and take these troops out who are trying to threaten our flank. Oh god, where are you getting hit from? Because you're being flanked. I guess maybe from troops forward there. Alright, so there's a serious push up off the 7th Street. Some rebs are being pushed back. That left flank attack looks to have stalled out a bit. They're moving at like very, very fast speed here. I don't want to get my regiment destroyed by being overly aggressive. I don't know who we just inflicted casualties on, but it gave me a +5 score. So we're just going to keep plugging away. Hopefully we can hang out till sunset. Morale is dropping. Taking fire from someone. 1,800 hours. Come on, boys. Make it to nightfall. Don't break. Don't break. When is nightfall? And we routed. Well, we had been doing good. We routed for a second time. Call me the commander of routing. Alright, enemy casualties are actually higher than our own at the moment, but again, they do have about a 10,000 man advantage, so we probably have to drive them from the field. And actually, it looks like the army's almost ready to rout. We've expended the troops' willingness to fight, and so I think we're about to rout. I did well, I think. We gained 15 prestige in this battle. But I assume that McDowell will issue the orders to retreat soon. Yep, there we go. I only lost 31 men. That was not too bad. Oh, there's troops in our rear. What the? Okay. Well, it's just a mob. DC's gonna fall. Maybe the army of the Department of the Pennsylvania or whatever can show up and help. I don't even know where I am. Oh, I think we're shooting at someone again. I hear gunfire. There's cavalry in our rear. Let's go to me. No, my men are almost off the map. They've almost routed off the map. Okay. Well, that'll be a pretty decisive defeat. And we flanked around and... yeah. Alright, so the enemy lost about 1,000. We ended up losing about 1,000 as well. But a higher percentage of our force, obviously. We gained 25 prestige from casualties inflicted. We routed, so we got a negative 10. Plus 15 total for our prestige. So it went up a little bit, but not enough to do anything with. Like, I can't buy a brigade. I'm assuming I have to buy a brigade. I'm not really sure. Battle of Washington, D.C. ends in a federal defeat. So this war is going to be a short war, it would seem. Unless they can bring in other forces. Brigadier General Porter has become famous and an inspiration for his men. Maybe he was the flanking commander on the left. Lieutenant Colonel has fallen, or Whittle has fallen, and Whiting has fallen into disgrace. Hopefully I have not. We shall see soon. Defeated Washington. Captain Pelham loses face. Alright, so... improved self-esteem. You have a bad tendency to feel uncertain about yourself. Yeah, that's true. Especially in company of other officers. Good thing you have a friend in the form of a conforming staff officer who always finds a way to boost your self-esteem. Again, he knows exactly how to make you feel better about yourself by investing on more prominent military apparel. Look good, do good, he says, and offers to pay half for whatever you may choose to order from the tailor of the armory. Okay, I mean, I guess we could do that. So, if the war lasts long enough to matter. Alright, so what's going to happen now? If the Department of the Pennsylvania comes down, they have 27,000 soldiers. They might be able to drive back the Army of the Shenandoah and prevent DC from falling. But I don't have my money on that. My prestige is up to 77. I don't know that I can do anything with that prestige. So let's go to our character here. So we are not defamed or anything yet, so that's good. We only have a half star. We're not significantly known. We're cautious. Leadership is 2 stars. Our administration is actually pretty decent at 3.5 stars. Still says mediocre, but... Alright, so... can we improve our uniform? We've got a blue jacket. We're a regimental commander, so there's not that much more we can do. We could go with a short blue jacket. That does help, I think. Prestige a little bit. So if we go to short blue jacket instead of long blue jacket, they're the same price. I don't know that it really matters. What about weapons? We've got, if we go to a 1871 Savage Navy... does that help anything? It just looks like it costs money. No, actually, the short blue jacket did improve our prestige by... no, it didn't actually... did it improve it by 2? I can't tell. I think it improved it by 2. Our mount, we have a plain horse. We could go with a better mount. We've got money. We've got 2 grand. So let's go to a cavalry horse. That's a more showy horse there. We'll spend some money on that. I don't want anything like that. Like, I don't need a... no. Okay, so I don't know if I did enough to... I guess maybe we could change our uniform trousers. Short... go with cavalry trousers, maybe? Go with the blue ones. Too bad I can't do anything with my boots. Yeah, our prestige is inching up. We're up to 80. Spending some cash. What happens if we go to battle? So it just gives me a background. Does it give me like a... how many incidents? Actions, we're currently playing the gamble card to get more wealth. 4 days left till that completes. We've got 80 prestige. We can't afford any quartermaster or anything like that yet. All right. So we're going to retreat now, right? That's probably what's going to happen. I don't have any specific orders at the moment. Let's see what happens. Yep, so we retreat. Department of... Well, they're pursuing, so they didn't even bother to take DC? Oh, there's a battle going, actually. I think. Or a siege. Department of Annapolis sent in 6,800 troops. It looks like the Department of Pennsylvania is moving, but this is a very disorganized move. I think we're back here. I'm not sure where we're going. We're in the 1st Division. Alright, so yeah, they drove them back and I assume won another victory. I didn't really get any write-up. We go to military here. What do we see? Hey, McDowell, how about you get your ass fired? That seems smart. There's a siege at Grafton Road Bridge. Battle of Hampton. I don't actually have the ability to see the battle results, which would be kind of nice, but... Grafton Road Bridge was a major victory for the Federals. That's interesting. Alright, so I'm just moving with the 1st Division. I've finally seen the elephant. Adrenaline is running in my veins. Oh, shoot. Pause. So, DC is almost fallen. You can see the progress bar here on DC is going way up. The 1st Division is over here. The Army, the Department of Pennsylvania, I think sent some troops down this way. It looked like it. I'm not really sure. Shank at destination. Is he our commander? So my troops, hopefully, looks like our division got reinforced. Hopefully my troops can feel better about themselves. I wish I had a little bit more control over my my troops. Like, I don't have any drill or anything like that. I can't tell them to do anything. Let's change your damn uniforms though. Prussian blue. And what's up with those uniforms? Like, whoa, you look dumb. I'm their commander. That's me. So we fought in the first Battle of Manassas, suffering 181 casualties and inflicting 28. At Washington, we took 31 and inflicted 53. So much better at Washington. Doesn't look like I have the ability to upgrade my soldiers' weaponry. I mean, maybe I could do this, but I don't want to give them worse weapons. So I guess we're just gonna keep chugging along. I'm assuming we'll launch a counterattack on DC eventually. Looks like there is a battle ongoing at DC. I don't know if there's 3 different battles. Oh, I'm in this division back here. We're still observing the enemy nearby, but no side seems to want to engage. Okay. Does look like there's a battle ongoing at DC that I'm not a part of. See these little saber icons, which usually means there's a battle. Glorious victory at Hampton. Alright, so there's a victory at Hampton Roads, I'm guessing. Another one in West Virginia. The reports of brave military has won a victory. Okay, we already saw that. "12 days left in the engagement." Confederacy will win the engagement with a probability of 39%. Send my division down there and fight. Our readiness is pretty poor. Oh, here we go. 17,000. The Confederates still outnumber us. You know, I think maybe better is if you could start an 1862 campaign for the regimental. 1861 is just kind of weird for multiple reasons. But you can see here, it looks like the Rebs have a slight advantage in this fight so far. And it will probably get more so with that manpower advantage, I'm assuming. In fact, yeah, it looks like it's about to be a Union defeat again. All right. We keep getting these little pop-ups up top, which are kind of neat, but like I feel like you've got to move at a time compression when you're not fighting that's so high that it kind of negates any... like they disappear too quick. They got additional forces coming south. Will they get there before the battle is up? Disaster at Washington, D.C. Okay, another defeat there. That additional division just arrived, though. And D.C. has fallen to the Confederacy. So let's see if our troops ever move out. Our readiness is still pretty low. Alright, so the second division showed up at DC. Are they retaking the city? It looks like they're retaking the city. You can see the progress bar slowly moving. The rebels did pull out. Mood among the men is gloomy. Yeah, they just got word that DC fell. But the Army of Northeastern Virginia's 5th Division is kind of in the Army of the Potomac's rear, so maybe that's why they pulled out. Because we've got troops down here. We still hold Alexandria, I believe. Not sure why the Army of Shenandoah is way down here. But Frederick is still in our control. Alexandria is still in our control. So overall, DC looks like it's back in our control now. Or will be soon. Gambling is complete. Gambling is paying off. Now you have lots of money to spend. Do I have 22,000 or is that 2.2? I think 2.2. It seems you've made some enemies though. Let's hope it doesn't backfire later in your career. Oh, yeah? Who did I make as an enemy? So it looks like we made about $300 off gambling. Who are the enemies we made? Come on, tell me. That would be nice to know. So I actually have $200 more than I started this, despite all the stuff that we purchased. Can we get rid of this card? I don't want to... I don't know if it's a cooldown, if I can't move it, but I'd rather get rid of the gamble card. What happens if I study operations? Gain a half star? On what? Initiative. Okay. Alternatively, leadership increases leadership by a half star. Logistics increases administration, so we'd be a 4-star. I don't know why it says we're mediocre. We're 3.5 out of 5. Cunning. Let's go with administration to give us 4 stars. Also, I assume that'll help my readiness. Unless, what are the other options here? Examine details. Pay for your friendly conforming staff officer to extra educate your staff. Increases efficiency. Purchase enough supplies for 5 full units and distribute them among my men. That's a lot of money. Political rally. Throw a party. What'll that do? It'll earn me 250 prestige. Yes, please. How long is that going to take? $21 days. So maybe we keep this series going. Because if I get 250 prestige, I might be a brigade commander if that's how it works. Assuming we don't lose the war by then. So what I heard from the reviews is the game starts off and it can have a few battles early on, and then armies just sort of sit and don't do a lot. Now we still see battles occurring. There was recently a battle in the Shenandoah Valley at Harper's Ferry. It looks like there's a battle ongoing with the Department of Pennsylvania right now. It looks like they just lost another battle there. So maybe that's not true. Maybe we're just not moving because our readiness is too low. But we'll find out here soon enough. It looks like DC will be ours again in just a couple days. Progress bar is almost maxed. And there it is. DC's back in our control. Be nice if they took the depots. Endless drills and inspection and no action. Guys, we fought 2 battles in the first month. I think that's plenty of action for the ordinary soldier. Especially in this era. Looks like they're repairing some of the forts that were damaged there. Another battle occurring. I don't know why the Department of Washington is advancing on the Confederates all by themselves with just 5,000 men. How about you use... Our division's readiness is still bad. It's because Schenck is probably not a great administrator. He's mediocre. Okay. Well, maybe when we get our readiness up a bit more, we'll get to go fight another battle. My actions... How much longer? 11 more days. Jeez. You'd think you could throw a party a little bit more quickly than that. Yeah, Department of Washington's definitely losing down there near Manassas. But they're at least holding the Rebs in place. Stonebridge. It's actually a siege, so they're not actively fighting it. But I only see 1 division down there, so... Our division's readiness still not good. So we got to get to the 20 or the 15th of July, I think, before our action is done. All right, so now a battle is occurring. %20 chance at the Battle of Hampton. What's going on down there? Rebs must really be trying to take Hampton Roads. They do... Well, they don't outnumber us. So we should be fine. We've got the fort to fall back into if it comes to it. We apparently are spending $200 a month or so on food, it seems like. My health is at 100%. I'm strong as bull. I weigh 162 pounds, 169 pounds. Food and provisions, and then camp life. Camp life is just chill. Alright. Maybe that party will let me get promoted. Maybe they'll be like, hey, he didn't do too bad. Disaster in Hampton. Alright, they lost. Send our division somewhere. I know our readiness is still bad. I don't know that we'll get another fight in this video, but I do want to see how throwing that party influences anything. I just don't know how you get promoted. Do you have to like perform, or is it all prestige based? I don't know. Cotton trade slows down, record high cotton prices. So we lost DC, but we quickly took it back. We fought 2 battles. Did better in the second one. Still wasn't pretty. Alright, your party was a great success and you've earned a lot of personal prestige along the way. The wine was good. So was the whiskey. So what do I do with the 200 prestige? It looks like we're moving again. There's still the siege of Stonebridge. Okay. Projects. Am I supposed to do anything? It says this is auto-managed, so I don't... Why does it give me an exclamation point? Okay, but... Go on Military Act 3. So now I've got 330 prestige. What do I do with that prestige? Anything? I don't think I can really do much with, get a fancier sword. Outfit myself with a dragoon saber. But I don't know that there's anything else I can do. Reconcile. Are you in a bitter disagreement with many of your fellow officers? Reconcile in order to decrease personal tensions. But I don't even know who my tensions are with. I don't know if I have any grudges. It doesn't tell me, does it? Okay. It doesn't look like I've, yeah, I don't see any options there. So one thing we could do is, I mean, I don't know who I'm reconciling with. I could... What is this? Not this. Examine details. Pay your friendly conforming staff officer. Okay, so not that. I've got prestige. It doesn't look like I can use it to, like, at the moment promote myself. I could potentially use it to get a new staff officer. I've got 250. Or I've got 300 to spend. So we could go with William Wallace, so we have a quartermaster. So we'll have a full staff at that point. It improves our supply efficiency, which is good. So we've now got a full staff of individuals. And then I think we're going to go with administration, study logistics. Spend $500 to do that. That'll take another 54 days, dear God, but it'll get me to 4 stars, which may allow me to stand out a bit as an administrator. I guess we're going to see where our troops are going, though. Looks like we're going to go for a battle, so I'm going to pause the game right here because it looks like the Union is driving on the Rebs here at Stonebridge. It is currently a siege, but I assume once all of our troops show up... I don't know who that is. Lieutenant Colonel Cutshaw. That's not anyone on my staff. No. But I assume as soon as we all converge on this position, there will be a big battle fought. Looks like the Rebs have... How many men do they have at the siege at the moment? Stonebridge is 13,000 troops, but we're bringing at least 30 south. I mean, it looks like the bulk of the army's in maneuver here. They do have the Army of the Potomac right there, South Carolina, so it'll probably be a pretty decent scrap at Manassas once again. We will see how that plays out, but we've been going for almost 50 minutes, guys, so I will start a more role-play-y series. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow, if it'll be a couple of days. I'm going to play through this campaign a little bit further just to see how things shape up and see how it feels. And then if I'm not a brigadier by, you know, the end of this battle, maybe, then maybe we make a move or just see how things unfold. But let me know your thoughts below. Let me know if you want to see more of Grand Tactician: The Civil War. I'm enjoying playing it. It definitely is a little bit rough still. It could use some work, but I love the idea, and they did iron out the base game, the Grand campaign. I won't say it's great in terms of polish, but it is way better than it was when it released. And so, I mean, it's a small indie studio. Like, you're not going to get games like this from major studios anymore. And it's a pretty ambitious project. So I hope this does well for them. I am definitely going to keep playing, and I want to hear your thoughts as well. But until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying once again, as always, thank you very much for watching. And until next time, this was Grand Tactician, the Civil War, the Whiskey and Lemons DLC, which turns this game into a role-playing game. Until next time, thanks for watching. I'm out. Bye-bye.